Welcome, everybody! A unique circumstance gives us an opportunity to look at what the future of ARCS could be. Welcome to the ARCS Ignition series for the Firecracker 125. I'm Carmen and Sienna bringing you tonight's action here on ABN Esports 1. It's Daytona week, and they know it. As cars, teams, and drivers get ready for more racing here under the lights on the high banks of Daytona. Smaller field, but same expected action here tonight. 14 cars set to take part in tonight's event. We'll walk through it here as qualifying gets set to begin. But while everything gets situated, we'll walk through just what you're looking forward to here tonight. 50 laps is the race distance here this evening. Stage break on lap 20 is the only stage break of the night. Kind of similar to what we see in the ARCS Saturday Night Showdown series on usually occasion. There's just one scheduled break in the action there again on lap 20 there. 50 laps, expecting pit stops in that second stanza of the race. That last 30-lap run. It is Daytona, and it is going to be a mix of drivers in the field tonight. Qualifying is underway, so let's jump into it. Cars on track include that of Brandon Fetterplace and John Smeal. Here's a look at Brandon Fetterplace right here on your screen. 34 car running tonight as qualifying begins. Again, if you're here on a Friday night, we welcome you to the ARCS Ignition series. Fetterplace on his qualifying run. Just about everybody on track now. Estes, Smeal, Fetterplace, Wright, Marshall, Pelletier, Sharp, Markowski, Patrick Oberstadt. A lot of these names will be familiar if you watch Saturday and Sunday evenings. Toby Estes, three-time A-Square Cup Series winner. Jonathan Smeal, a veteran in the ARC circles across multiple disciplines. As Markowski actually sets the first time for a moment before Patrick Oberstadt takes the top spot. We'll have to refresh our system here with it not wanting to cooperate. But James Wright just went top of the board. So a good run there so far. Again, we'll have all of that up here shortly. Second lap underway for the 34 of Brandon Fetterplace. There's Toby Estes. See what he can do as he starts his run. Briley Wright just went top of the board. Markowski went top of the board again. Oberstadt top of the board again on his second lap, and Jonathan Adams will do the same. It is a pendulum for the top spot here at Daytona in qualifying. Bringing back up our overlays here. You'll see it here. Toby Estes driving the number 3 tonight. It's Kerr at the top of the board. Then Adams, Oberstadt, Markowski. Marshall just jumped to 5th. 15 cars present for tonight's race. So Estes goes top of the board. Austin Mongold on his second lap, a competitive rookie, driving a paint scheme I'm very familiar with as he tries to gain as much time as possible. Will it stick? I don't think it does. And it will not. Irish George on track as well in the number 12 for Presidential Racing. He returns to the Raceway Cup Series on Sunday here at Daytona after spending a week away. But he's having a fun time right now driving the Altel number 12. Irish George setting his first lap. Series got the time to do so. Only drivers to not set a time so far are Irish George and Patrick Allen. So we'll see what Irish George can do with Bahama Boss on his own tonight. Only driver on his team. Ryan Pinnell on vacation, his team boss. But right now, it will be just Irish George on track with 4 minutes left to play here in qualifying. Irish George, first lap. He's going to go for the second, see if the second's quickest. Traditionally, so far tonight, it has been. First lap. Enough for a 51.18. Pole time's a 54.33, or 50.33, excuse me. So he's got to gain approximately 0.8 to be close to the front row. He's not hugging it too close to the inside lane, so I believe he may be pretty content to start near the back of the field tonight. This should, by comparative terms, be a quick broadcast tonight. It should be around the hour and a half mark from obviously our launch time at 9 p.m. to the end of this race. 50 laps. Again tonight, there's a stage break in between. It is Daytona, so keep that in mind. Irish George moved up to 13th place. Just gained a little bit of time, but enough to close that gap. First to 14th, all separated by 1.5 tenths. And that's almost everybody that has run a lap time at this point. You see the times running at the top of the board right here. With the timer now showing as well. Toby Estes, a 50.336. Enough for the top spot so far in tonight's race. So he's going to try to start on pole position. A lot has changed here in the ARCS atmosphere as far as driver moves are concerned. Toby Estes was locked into the A-Square Cup Series playoffs, but would no longer be able to make the race on Sunday, so he stepped down, gave a spot away, and that is now where we're at now. So 14 cars at times. Again, times are running at the top of your screen. Toby Estes and James Kerr set to start on the front row here tonight. Hey, for everyone that's tuning in, welcome to a one-off appearance of the ARCS Ignition Series here on ABN. This series typically broadcasts on the ARCS Racing Networks. They're in one of their in-house productions. But with Ryan Pinnell on vacation, there was no one set to broadcast tonight's race, so they called on us as we broadcast two of their other premier series with the Saturday Night Showdown and the A-Square Cup Series. Qualifying is wrapping up here very soon, less than 40 seconds and change left here in qualifying as the times roll across the top of your screen. Toby Estes on pole, James Kerr, then Jonathan Adams, Patrick Oberstadt, and Dale Markowski. We go through the full starting grid and who's who here in the ARCS Ignition field. If you're interested in joining for some Friday night Xfinity Series action, visit racearcs.com or follow us on social media. esports_on_ABN on Twitter or on Discord. All the links are available on our page. Qualifying has concluded here, so it's time to get into it. Here's the starting grid presented by Smil Racing Designs. Toby Estes and James Kerr at the front of the field. They will lead this field to green. Jonathan Adams and Patrick Oberstadt will sit in row number 2. Dale Markowski and Edward Marshall sit in row 3. Then it's Bradley Wright and John Smil in row 4. Row 5, James Wright. We saw him on Monday night. He won the test race, the final test race in Speed Weeks for HTL. He'll be alongside his teammate, Zach McBride. They'll try to start working together quickly. Chemistry going to be very important for that team, not only tonight, but going forward on Mondays. Brandon Fetterplace, two-time winner in the ARCS A-Square Cup Series. He'll start in row number 6 alongside Lily Pelletier-Sharp. The French-born driver, driving for Line Power Motorsport alongside Fetterplace and Edward Marshall, will have some additional help here tonight in trying to get into the win column. Looking a little bit further down, that's where you'll find the Bahama boss, Elvis George, alongside Austin Mongold. And starting last in this field, electing there by choice, Patrick Allen for Beatron Racing, trying to see if he can do what he's done so far this week in practice. And that's come first. Again, that starting grid courtesy of Smil Racing Designs, the trusted design scheme maker for the ARCS community since 2021. Racing is going to be very interesting for the ARCS Ignition Series. Again, 2.5 mile oval, 72 degrees on track, 70 degrees in the air, very little humidity, makes it a little bit more forgiving the drivers trying to bump draft here tonight. But 11 mile an hour winds, you get put 3 wide, that car is going to feel every single bit of it. Cars coming out of the back straightaway, or coming out of turn 2 onto the back straightaway as we get ready to go. 15 cars present for tonight's event. Every single one of them wants to kick off this weekend with a bang. "15 cars, all of them present to take the green flag tonight. 50 laps, 125 miles as they roll through turns 3 and 4. This is a track that has always, in the past decade, produced last lap passes for the race win. For ABN, the last several have been photo finishes. Do we see more of that tonight? Patrick Allen hanging back, but the other 14 firmly in place. Green flag is in the air, and the Firecracker 125 is underway. First lap, clean and steady. All 15 cars present. 2 distinct lanes, top and bottom. And everyone so far being nice and tidy and avoiding early side drafts. We will not see the same thing on Sunday or on Monday. It's been a wild week for racing so far. James Kerr leads the inside lane. Toby Estes leads the outside lane, but the inside lane is what's prevailing at the moment with Kerr and Patrick Oberstadt. The 74 of Edward Marshall sits in the outside lane behind the 3 of Estes. But so far, inside lane is prevailing early on. And now you'll see the inside lane being crowded by that outside lane who's gone from the wall to the middle. A little bit of side drafting attempt, just trying to neutralize the runs on that inside lane, and it's worked. A little bit of his case study on how effective it can be. Just to side draft a little and not be over dramatic with it. Inside lane has more help though. It is an 8-7 split. Outside lane, losing momentum, losing steam, getting a little bit more aggressive on the side drafting as Estes tried to side draft on Patrick Oberstadt. Kerr with Oberstadt hot in pursuit. Estes getting clear almost into 3 and 4. It is clear. A lot of help from Edward Marshall there. Estes and Marshall staying on the top lane. John Smeal there in the 3rd place in the outside lane, 5th place overall. Giving a little bit of space to Edward Marshall. We'll see a good chunk of these drivers on Sunday for the ARCS Cup Series race. Still side by side, a little more scrolling in the inside lane, and trouble in back! Huge trouble, car flipping upside down and over. That's Lily Peltier Sharp in the 18. Patrick Allen involved. Caution has come out for the first time tonight. You see, Lily Peltier Sharp was 3rd in points tonight, entering tonight's race. And tonight did not help that matter at all so far. Markowski 2nd in points. John Smill the points leader. But overall right now for Peltier Sharp, a bad start to this race. Not what she wanted. We'll go back and look at what happened. Someone got forced 3 wide. It's just a matter of who. Here in tonight's race. We'll get a different camera angle on it. It looks like it was the 29 of Briley Wright. That payday machine was trying to stay behind. I believe that is the 32 of Dale Markowski. It is. I think Markowski gets checked up. We'll check here. The 32 of Markowski gets a piece of this. We'll see if we can ride on board here with that 32 machine. There's Markowski's on board. Trying to find the right camera angle. There we go. Good camera angle there. Markowski's on board. And he checks up. Briley goes to the middle. But the move's never completely on. Peltier Sharp goes for a wild ride. We'll get her perspective here. Again, we'll have to back it up a little bit because it already kind of begins here. Really good look on board the 18 machine. Out of turn 2, Markowski gets checked up behind the 42 of Jonathan Adams. And then the flips begin. So Peltier Sharp right now struggling early on. Just trying at this point to make things simple here. And I think that car's actually lost a lot of power here. That car is not... I don't hear that car fired up. It isn't fired up. So trouble early on here. Peltier Sharp going a lap down here in this process. It looks like we're coming to 1 to green. 17 Austin Mongold. Still with a lot of damage on that 17 machine. Peltier Sharp coming down pit lane. Some more service will be the first car, the only car, I believe, 1 lap down in tonight's race so far. So Toby Estes, James Kerr, Zach McBride, Patrick Oberstadt make up the top 4. Jonathan Adams makes up the top 5. Again, stage break on the end of lap 20. It's Estes, Kerr, McBride, all 3 different manufacturers represented in the top 3. Estes in the Chevrolet, the Bass Pro Shops, number 3. James Kerr in the Toyota Supra, the Black Acid Racing Designs, number 75. And Zach McBride in the Stepping Stone Motorsports Ford, number 28. Then you have Patrick Oberstadt in the Hunt Brothers Pizza, number 41. As the field gets ready to come to the green flag, Peltier Sharp still on pit lane here tonight. Green flag is going to come back out here. Through the restart zone we go. Green flag is underway. Again, for some drivers, this could be a relief and a reprieve, knowing that there is a stage break in 10 laps time. But for those at the front of the field, McBride led that lap, but Toby Estes wants it back. Estes, McBride, Kerr, Marshall, Oberstadt in the top 5. James Wright in the 50. Surging with that inside line, being led by his teammate McBride. McBride, jack of all trades, master of none in the number 28 machine. Looking pretty poised in the early goings here at the front of the field. Riding on board with the 50 of James Wright. Inside lane, surging forward, riding on board the 50 as he sits right behind Edward Marshall in the 74. Going through the tri-oval here. Outside lane fighting back, mostly with a 3-car tow. With Estes, James Kerr, and Patrick Oberstadt. Marshall trying to drift off a little bit. Get a little side draft out of turn 2. But no one really touching here on the back straightaway. As you see the gaps here between the cars, minus Estes and Kerr, which I have the right idea. Drivers staying pretty well backed off each other on the inside lane. It's allowing the outside lane to have momentum. So Estes leads. Oberstadt fell back, and Fetterplace takes his place, the 34 car. Toyota's swapping places here. Still 3-3. Between the inside and outside lanes, this is a little bit of a tail forming behind. I believe that's Patrick Allen. It is the 45 of Patrick Allen. Early on in tonight's race. Allen moving up to the 7th spot, trying to get into this mix for the race lead. Well, everyone else sits back and watches this battle for the top 6. McBride led that lap. Estes, McBride still leading these lanes. James Kerr thought about making it 3 wide, either inadvertently or deliberately. And Estes promptly shut the middle door down. Issues at that inside lane. Doing a lot of side drafting to get their advantage back. They've got almost a car length advantage. McBride leads that lap again as they come down into turn 1. View from the grandstands here at Daytona. 5 to go into the stage break. McBride still holds on to the race lead. James Wright's actually backed out of this. And you see why, the latency there for the number 50. He's likely been warned that if push comes to shove, he'll have to step out of line to avoid endangering the other drivers. McBride still leads. 14 cars still running. All 14 of those cars should stay on the lead lap if they stay as they are right now. Estes dropping back a little bit more, trying to side draft off the 74 of Marshall. Ready to go. It has been wild so far. One caution already. We know there's a planned one on lap 20 at the end of lap 20. Everyone just trying to get to that point. But who's going to lead the way? On board with Estes as he took the lead. And now we're on the back of Toby Estes' machine, and that's all he sees right now. Trying to side draft to prevent McBride from getting a run. It is nothing but Supra on the back of that number 3. As he tries to get the lead back, and now you see it's a lot tighter in this top 6. Saw Kerr got a little bit squirrely there. The high wind speeds is going to be a bit of a factor if you're the middle car in these lines. Second, third car in line, especially if you got cars behind you, will make that car jostle around. Final lap in the first stage. McBride leads. Going through turns 1 and 2. And it's going to be as tight as you can have it. Down the back straight away. They do not want to give each other any more space than they need to, crowding each other in the corners. The whole idea is if you crowd somebody enough and they get tight, they'll have to lift and they'll give you that momentum. With how planted these cars are, especially at the front, that could be a problem. You see lap cars in front, they will stay on the lead lap. They are not going to be a factor in how this one finishes. Crossing start finish line. McBride got it. McBride, Estes, Marshall, Kerr, top 4. Is how the first stage ends. So everyone catching up to the pace car here. You see Elris George, the last car running on the lead lap. He will be good to go. McBride got to slow down a little bit. Has passed the pace car here. Target fixated on that 12 of Elris George. Now he's got to wait up for that pace truck. Be McBride, Estes, Marshall, Kerr. We expect pit stops here, mostly for, I'm assuming, fuel-only stops here as we keep rolling. as pit stops begin here at Daytona under the stage break. Reminder that tomorrow we will not be doing our regularly scheduled programming for the ARCS Midwest Barbecue Saturday Night Showdown series. That'll be Sunday, September 3rd. Tomorrow evening, we will be going live with non-broadcast content, some different content coming to the channel here tomorrow evening. Stay tuned to obviously our social media links, Instagram, Twitter, for information on that tomorrow morning. Sunday, it's the ARCS Darkside Mustangs A-Square Cup Series from Daytona, 7 p.m. Gonna be a crowded booth, but a fun time. Myself, Kevin Young, Christina Ryan in the booth for that event on Sunday. And then the party continues for me and Christina here at Daytona as qualifying for the HTL Cup Series Daytona 300 is on Monday. Pre-race coverage begins on ABN Esports 2 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. We're under caution for the second time. The scheduled stage break here, giving everyone a chance to repair their cars from that first caution on lap 6. McBride, Briley Wright, Elvis George, and Austin Mongold taking the time to get those repairs taken care of here while they've got the time. Estes will lead the way. Then Marshall in second place. Kerr, then Fetter place in fourth. A lot of the drivers fourth on down took tires in their pit stop. Estes, Marshall, and Kerr did not. Again, for those just now tuning in, this is the ARCS Ignition Series. One of their entry-level series for those that have aspirations of making it to the A-Square Cup Series. Your journey most likely will begin here. We are at Daytona here tonight, and it is almost showtime. Choose cone in effect there. You see the double yellow line, the choose cone at the start-finish line. Those that choose to be on the inside will start at the inside, and you'll see a lot of cars here have chosen the inside lane as the place to be. For those used to our traditional Friday programming up until this week, you'll notice that the Ignition Series, a lot shorter races, a lot more palatable. That's by design. It's a workup. From Ignition to the Saturday Night Showdown to the A-Square Cup Series. Friendly for the drivers, friendly for the teams and the fans that watch. See a lot of cars starting on the inside lane here as we get ready to go. Austin Mongold leaving pit lane now. Will stay on the lead lap, taking as much repairs as he can. And then number 17, Ford Mustang. There he is, leaving pit lane. That Arby's number 17 looking a lot better than what it was just a few laps ago. But it's almost time for us to go back racing to kick off the second stanza of the Firecracker 125. Estes, Marshall, Kerr, Fetter place, Wright, Oberstadt, top 6. And as you can see, only 2 cars in the outside lane is going to make this spicy. Pace truck is in. Through the restart zone we go, and we are underway. We've crossed the halfway point. Officially, second half now underway. 25 laps to go here at Daytona. Estes, Kerr, Marshall, Fetterplace, Wright, Oberstadt, Smeal, Allen, then Bradley Wright. In the top 9, Zach McBride in the 10th position. Then it's Mongold, Adams, Markowski, and George. The 14 car still running. Peltier Sharp on pit lane. A little bit of latency there by James Kerr, the 75 machine. Only car off the lead, off the pace right now is Elvis George. Everyone else in this nose-to-tail squadron going into turn 1 now. Drivers pretty well content in letting Toby Estes lead some of these laps. Estes and Kerr will lead the way. That car looking on the outside lane, I believe, is Bradley Wright, that payday machine. Single file for the most part. Everyone keeping it calm and tame. Not very often we see this at Daytona, let alone under the lights in the summer. But right now, that's what things look like. Estes, Kerr, Marshall, Fetterplace, James Wright, top 5. Single file at the moment, but how long does it stay that way? Still single file here for the most part. I believe that is, if I look back there a little bit, that looks like that might be Patrick Allen. It is Patrick Allen that was making moves, getting around Austin Mongold to try to get up to this lead group, and he does. And he is on a charge right now. The issue is, I think, drivers are trying to save fuel. No one's wanting to push right now because fuel mileage is of the essence. Patrick Allen looking outside, trying to get around Bradley Wright. On board with Allen now. Again, everyone else saving fuel. Patrick Allen, not. We'll see how it pays off for him. But he is moving to the front. Looking off the back of the 45. As he gets around, that is the 34 Fetterplace. You see drivers even going through there. There's Edward Marshall, Patrick Allen, now up to third. Trying to side draft off of the 75 of James Kerr. Still on that outside lane. Now he's hit the wall because the leaders are still going his pace. Everyone else using the draft to just stay there with them and save fuel. Going half, sometimes even quarter throttle in the fuel saving process here at Daytona. 19 laps to go. Patrick Allen falls backwards a little bit more and more and more. That 45 machine. Flashing like a supernova. Over as soon as it begins. And the 28 of Zach McBride will follow his team boss through past the inside of that 45 machine. Patrick Allen luring the 74 of Edward Marshall forward just a little bit, but Marshall thought better of it. Marshall in the 74 thought about covering it off, but then elected not to lose a spot in line. Third place at the moment. Patrick Allen, an unproven commodity. Most starts in ARCS racing history without a win. It's not an illustrious pedigree in that 45 car. Play racing sometimes, though, can be the great equalizer with 18 laps to go. The question is, if he's not saving fuel, how long can he make it here? Because the entire rest of the field has this indication, this inclination that fuel saving is the way to go. Obviously, if you're not very strategic minded like me, that makes these next 17 laps very, very interesting. Marshall once again covers off. Does he cover off and stay up there? He does not. He'll feign back to the bottom. I think at most part he's just trying to get Patrick Allen to fall backwards. But it's not working. Allen holding in tight enough to the 34 of better place to maintain that position at the moment. Again, can't speak highly enough about how this all looks so far. Single file. F1 minded at P's and Q's. There's some series that can't get to this point. But everyone in this line has an idea and a sense of what they're doing. And at Daytona, of all places, you have to be methodical and sure of yourself. Confidence is key. Without it, you won't win here. I typically say luck is the intersection of talent and opportunity. At Daytona, confidence is a factor in that as well. Patrick Allen, confident in his ability. He's running that outside line, staying on his own here, as he side drafts off the line power duo, sitting third and fourth on the inside. And he's almost gotten clear of Marshall. Almost doesn't count in the situation, only in horseshoes and hand grenades. But Patrick Allen almost got himself into a good spot. There's the 12 of Elrich George, who the entire field will try to dispatch here. Elrich George will hold it to the outside lane. Everyone covers and clears him. He is safe. And cars coming down pit lane. The fuel savings not going to be enough. The leaders are in. And now it's on line power. So some drivers have realized they can't make it. Kerr, Estes, Wright, all in. With 14 laps to go. What does that say about where Fetter Place and Marshall are at? What does it say about the stepping stone duo of James Wright and Zach McBride? Was Patrick Allen correct in that assumption? That no one could make it and there was no point in sitting back? Time will tell. But right now, things look phenomenal. If you are in this group right now, fuel only stops for Kerr and Wright. Toby Estes has made the mistake of taking tires on his stop. He has lost touch with his teammate and that of James Kerr. With 13 to go, still no one blinking on this occasion, and a tandem of two cannot outrun a pack of 10. They are now back single file. Patrick Allen in between the Stepping Stone Motorsports duo for the time being. His teammates are whoever he can find. Right now, it's not the Stepping Stone duo. Patrick Allen steps to the outside once more, and steps to the far outside. No one in this time. And every lap that they stay out, it hurts the chances for Kerr and Briley Wright. It leaves Briley Wright and James Kerr hoping for a little bit of a miracle. A lap time around here in the draft is 48 seconds. The gap between Edward Marshall and James Kerr is 35 seconds. If you were in the betting odds, my betting odds is that they would try. Looked like they were thinking about coming in that time. They will wait one more lap, it seems, before attempting to pit. We'll see if drivers come in here, and if so, what do they do? Right now, things as they run. It's Marshall, Fetter Place. Then Wright and McBride. And there comes Line Power Motorsport 1 and 2. This tandem comes in, and they come in assuredly alone with 10 laps to go. James Wright leads now over Zach McBride. Then there's a gap between McBride and the 41 of the Beatron Racing's Patrick Oberstadt. Oberstadt and Smeal, teammates of Beatron, sit third and fourth ahead of Austin Mongold, Jonathan Adams, Dale Markowski, and then Patrick Allen at the tail of this field. 8 cars in a race against the fuel tank and the lap count. There's Toby Estes with 4 fresh tires. He has been lapped. He is now in the category firmly of needing a miracle. Do the Stepping Stone cars come in this time? They do not. But they are on their own. They are now burning fuel at a heavy rate compared to what it was when they were 5th and 6th in line or 3rd and 4th in line. Wright, McBride, Oberstadt, Smeal, top 4. Looking at the 3 of Tobias, center of your screen, the only car in this group a lap down. Ours George also a lap down, but wounded, not able to hold pace with this group. 1 car out of this race, that is the 18 of Lily Pelletier Sharp. She will collect 15th place points out of tonight's contest. 9 laps to go. Do the Stepping Stone cars blink this time? They do not. They stay out 1 more lap. 8 to go. Strategy has become key once again here at Daytona. As things stand right now, Estes would be the free pass recipient if a caution were to come out now that he was not involved in. That is something that he is hoping for. A caution would also significantly help out the likes of Edward Marshall and Brandon Fetterplace, who are on their own at this point in time. 7 to go. Stepping Stone trying to 1-2 this. They've been strong at Daytona across the board. Car drifting outside wide. That is McBride. And he'll slot in behind the lap car of Estes. A little bit extra fuel saving. And James Wright's going to try to do the exact same. They're staging it so Estes can pull the field forward. I don't think Estes wants to lead. James Wright needs to let off just a little bit more. Trail brake just the slightest amount more to get Estes in front. And he's going to get him here. So now the leaders have a little bit of assistance in fuel saving. The question now shifts once again back to will it be enough? With 6 laps to go. As the miles and the laps tick away. And Estes once again not wanting to lead this pack. He's not wanting to help their fuel mileage. And now Toby doing the smartest thing he can do, and that is just drop to the back of the full line. Elvis George is not a competitor to him right now. Nowhere close. Makes no sense for Toby Estes to be near this group right now, fighting for next to nothing and helping other drivers make it on fuel. People cheering on Patrick Oberstadt here tonight. Oberstadt sitting in the 3rd position at the moment, that 41 machine for B-Tron Racing. It's Stepping Stone Motorsports 1-2, B-Tron Racing 3rd and 4th, then Meme Gold Motorsports 5th and 6th. So Team Dynamics 100% in play tonight with 5 to go, coming to 4 to go, 10 miles left to play at the start-finish line. Car stepping out. I believe that is Markowski. It is Markowski of 32, who thinks that he is good to go. Markowski surging forward. Again, the race leader controlling the tempo on the inside lane. Cars moving to the outside lane as everyone tries to save fuel at various rates. Markowski to 2nd. He splits up the Stepping Stone teammates there. 3 wide as they all try to get around Estes. James Wright led that lap, but with 3 to go, does he get the lead anymore? Oberstadt to the front of the field with help from Smeal. James Wright being swallowed up here. Fuel saving is a factor coming to 2 laps to go. Two laps remain here at Daytona. The Firecracker 125, less than 5 miles to play. Smeal leads, the championship leader out front, ahead of Jonathan Adams and Patrick Oberstadt. This could get hairy at the end of this race. Estes trying to stay out of the way, hoping a caution comes out before the white flag lap. Everyone defending that yellow line, that out-of-bounds line, as they go through turns 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. Out of turns 3 and 4. Cars coming down pit lane. I believe that's Patrick Allen and James Wright. It is. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Presented by Smeal Racing Designs. Smeal led at the lap. Can he lead it back? Mongold with a lot of force on the outside lane, trying to side draft off his teammate, Jonathan Adams. How late do you want to make your move? Adams to the outside lane. Oberstadt to the inside. Contact between the leaders. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Smeal to the inside, Adams to the outside, trouble behind. John Smeal will survive and win the Firecracker to 125. Patrick Oberstadt finishes second, giving up each one. Racing 1-2 finish tonight. Dale Markowski finishing in third, officially, or unofficially I should say. Then Jonathan Adams in fourth. Austin Mongold will finish fifth. And Zach McBride. Edward Marshall and Brandon Fetterplace finish 7th and 8th as they just got across the line. And then you'll see 9th and 10th there of James Kerr and Briley Wright. And then the cars that had to make it on fuel at the very end, Patrick Allen 11th, James Wright in 12th. Out of fuel, but victorious at Daytona, is John Smeal, the ignition points leader. Sat and waited behind his teammate and Patrick Oberstadt and the Stepping Stone Motorsports duo the entire second stanza and made the fuel go 28 laps to the finish of this race. There's Brandon Fetterplace there, a little bit of a engine rev. And congratulations, there is the 32 of Dale Markowski, who finished on the podium tonight for Black Acid Racing. And Smeal stop at the start-finish line with Markowski in third, Patrick Oberstadt, who is well and truly out of fuel here. I believe that might be in turns 3 and 4. There's Patrick Allen. Looks like some drivers are going to try to help get Patrick Oberstadt to the start-finish line. Patrick Allen couldn't get him any help there, as we see the 41. James Wright helping his teammate, Zach McBride, back to pit lane. And Patrick Allen will help get Patrick Oberstadt where he needs to be. John Smeal in the victory lane as the Patrick and Patrick show happens off of turn 4. A job well done for John Smeal tonight. See the podium finishers all here. It's our finish line. And the celebrations begin. He'll be the first to celebrate across the painted letters that mean so much in this category. Very few tracks mean as much as Daytona International Speedway. A win here means so much. And for Steven Oberstadt, he adds it to his repertoire. For John Smeal, he adds it to his repertoire. Patrick Oberstadt won here in the trucks. Steven Oberstadt won at Talladega. So Beach One Racing putting in a lot of work in the plate tracks here in 2023. We'll hear from our podium finishers here. We'll start off with the race winner himself. We'll start off with John Smeal. Podium interviews by Smeal Racing Designs coming up. John, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
What a drive The Firecracker 125 belongs in your name now on a team that has been synonymous with dominating the plate tracks this year. Walk us through the fuel-saving strategy, and obviously when you knew you needed to make your move to win this race.
We knew it was going to be tight pitting at the stage, so we were saving like crazy. When more cars started darting out in front of us, so we're like, okay. We kept pushing, our lap back. It was originally 10 we were going to go, then 5, and then we're like, all right, we got the numbers. So B-Tron lined up, and lap 3 it was on, and that was just a hell of a race. Definitely a team effort there, getting the win with help that we had the numbers that we did with the small field, but feels good to get the first actual win here in ARCS.
A phenomenal drive here, and again, you can attribute that to the team's overall just ability here at these plate tracks. Daytona and Talladega, this team has won just about everything there is this year at these tracks. But you said that number of when you wanted to push actually changed. Was that all based on the fuel mileage that you were seeing? Was it too dangerous to push early?
Yes, it ultimately boiled down to when we finally made the move, I was half a lap to the good. I would have loved to have done more of a burnout, but the fuel didn't allow for that. I felt like Chase Elliott with his first win. But yeah, we were doing what we could to try and make it on fuel. We knew the other two in front of us were going to be tight, and the cards fell in our favor.
Obviously, tonight is a bit part of a big weekend here for the ARCS series. Obviously, playoffs right around the corner. You're sitting as the points leader tonight, gaining, obviously, Dale Markowski second in points, was right there on the podium. We'll talk to him here in a little bit. But you talk about this being your first, proper race win in ARCS. Does it feel as good as you thought it was going to?
Oh, it feels better. Like I have been working so hard with these and improving my racecraft with these Xfinity cars, with doing officials and doing practices, and to finally get one just feels awesome.
Well, we'll let you celebrate. Obviously, a huge weekend coming up here. Obviously, your team having a good big weekend coming up here, being at Daytona once again after winning and dominating back in February. But before I let you go on and fully celebrate this race win tonight, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, John, the floor is yours. Congrats on a well-earned and well-thought-out race win here at Daytona. And again, round of applause there for you.
Yeah, thanks. First off, gotta thank my wife. She's a huge supporter in everything I do with iRacing, with the paints. She's my inspiration with a lot of what we do with Smeel Racing Designs. Gotta thank 213 Simware. Joined with them here a couple weeks ago, and I feel like it just lit a fire. You gotta thank Moza Racing. The Moza powered Ford Mustang was fast, and just glad we were able to park in victory lane.
John, again, first proper race win here in ARCS, and what a way to round out the summer months than here in victory lane at Daytona. Enjoy the race win. We'll hear from obviously your teammate Patrick here in just a moment, but enjoy the race win, and hopefully get to see you back in victory lane here very, very soon. Enjoy it.
Absolutely. Thanks for doing the broadcast.
Thank you very much for inviting me. That was John Smeel, race winner here tonight. We'll talk to his teammate, Patrick Oberstadt, here in just a moment. A phenomenal 1-2 effort once again at the High Banks. Patrick, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Do you got a copy?
I got a copy.
What a drive. Obviously, this track is one that you've had a lot of success at. You have been phenomenal at the plate tracks in general. You won in Talladega earlier this season. Walk us through. Obviously, we heard John's sort of perspective. Walk through on your end what it felt like. Obviously, going through that process, you were the leading car for that team. Then you weren't. Kind of just walk through everything as you were trying to obviously win for yourself here as well tonight.
Yeah, we were saving gas the whole time. And I was a little short. But once we said go, I just went for the middle, and then I kind of let them go around so I could save maybe a tad more. just to make it. And right at the line, my car shut off. Didn't have much to go around the track.
We
So
saw
that
we saw Patrick Allen there. How low were you on fuel when we started the second stage? Because it seemed like everyone was trying to save fuel. We saw the single file racing there in a little bit, which is kind of the indicator there. How short were you guys when the stage started? Like, how much did you know you needed to save?
I think we were like 2 or 3 laps short. So, but then once you got in the draft, you burned a lot more fuel, it seemed. So, I'm just glad I made it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we saw you get a little bit of help getting to the start-finish line with your teammate there by Patrick Allen there. Some camaraderie there after the flag. Obviously, plate tracks seem to be second nature for you. We saw you win, obviously, in SNS. We had to see you win. Obviously, you've won in the Ignition Series at Talladega. What is it about the plate racing that just it makes it click? Because I've not seen you do bad at one of these races yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because it doesn't take much skill. I'm new, I'm rookie, but I'm excited for Sunday in A squared. Hopefully, I can get me a win or my brother or one of my team. Or I know I'm not on my brother's team, but I'd still love to give him a win. But yeah, I don't know. They just click for me.
Well, it turned out spectacular. Beach Fun Racing gets another 1-2 finish thanks to you and John Smeal tonight. Obviously, we've had a chance to interview on the podium before. Hopefully we get to do this again on Sunday. But before we let you go and kind of let you just wind out your Friday evening here, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on a phenomenal second place and a phenomenal team effort tonight to get that fuel mileage to win this race.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Smeal for, Jeremy for keeping me on, let me stay part-time. And want to thank my girlfriend watching at home. And that's about it. And Smeal for the paint scheme.
Patrick, again, congrats on the second place. Again, you don't miss on these plate tracks at all. With one more this weekend. Obviously, enjoy the night off tomorrow. We'll be seeing you on Sunday.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you as well. That was Patrick Oberstadt, second place finisher here tonight. The Oberstadt brothers proving to be a force to be reckoned with here at Daytona and Talladega. One more interview tonight, and it is third place finisher Dale Markowski. For those that watch ABN content, you'll be very familiar with him in the Saturday Night Showdown series and soon to be the A-Square Cup series. But we'll get an interview with him, as he also had a pretty eventful night to finish off tonight here at Daytona. Dale, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
You got it.
What a finish. Obviously, you finished with your car looking like a modified across the line. But up until that point, things looked calm and steady. Walk through us on your perspective. Everyone was saving fuel. How much were you saving?
I was saving a lot. I realized that last run I was probably pretty much running about half throttle the entire run. And then with about 4 to go, I decided, I was like, all right, I'm going to try and, it was either 4 or 3 to go. I was like, I'm going to try and make my way to the front. And then I was like, all right, once I got to about second, I was like, I'm going to duck behind the leader, see if I can save one more lap. And I probably should have just gone to the front there. But you live and you learn. That's all part of racing at Daytona or restrictor plates like that. So it was a lot of fun tonight, but I guess I would have liked to see a little more racing instead of fuel saving, but those things are kind of going to happen from time to time here at Daytona.
Yeah, we saw you were kind of the first person to begin that chain reaction of everyone trying to make moves and figure out if they could make it to the end there. You said you were trying to save fuel a lot. Everyone else seemed like it was a very last lap sort of decision on when they were going to be able to go. What was the difference between obviously where you were and where obviously where Smeal and Oberstadt was? Because you were all in the same area and you somehow seem to have saved a lot more fuel. Was there anything in particular that was different as far as where you all were positioned at? Because it seemed like for them they were still razor tight on their margins.
When it came to the 1 to go, the pit road is still open, so I came down and topped off, and that got me probably about 0.2, 0.3 more laps on fuel, and then I was on the back of the line, so that's going to get the most fuel saving naturally, just with the way the draft works, physics, all of that. So that's probably what the difference was. I probably should have, like I said, gone straight to the front and just, tried to block them there. But I kind of realized that once they started running by me on the outside there. But overall, like I said, that probably that coming down to one to go and then going to, just running half throttle in the back of the pack. That's probably what kept me. I probably could have gone another half lap, another full lap if I had there. So, you live and you learn. That's just part of racing here.
Well, obviously, you get to kind of take some of the stuff you've learned tonight and go towards Sunday's race, where you are part of the A Cup Series now. But before I let you go and get ready, obviously, for the big race on Sunday, and then obviously the night off tomorrow with no SNS, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on a third place tonight here. I don't think it's not very often we get to interview here on the podium. Now English is beginning to fail as we enter the nighttime hours, but if there's anyone to say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on a job well done tonight. Obviously, fuel strategy may not be the most entertaining way to do it, but a podium is a podium.
Yep, you absolutely got it. Podium is a podium. I mean, obviously got to shout out the family. My hot-ass girlfriend, still don't know why she picked me out of all people, but, at the same time, though, I just, shout out to ARCS General. I've had a lot of fun racing here. I've had a lot of fun in Ignition and then in A Squared, so hoping to go full-time in A Squared next year, but we'll see what happens on that. But that being said, I'm just having a blast racing on Fridays, Sundays, part-time, so.
Well, you made it look phenomenal here tonight. Dale, again, congrats on the podium, and hopefully we get to see even more from you on Sunday. Enjoy the race and enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you. You as well. Thanks for the interview. Have a good one.
Thank you. You as well. That was Dale Markowski, race winner here tonight. Or not race winner, podium finisher tonight. John Smillier, race winner here. It's 95 degrees here. Bear with me, y'all. We'll walk through the full results here at Daytona from the Firecracker 125. John Smillier, the race winner, his first proper race win in one of ARC's major category series. Having watched John Smillier for the first couple of years here, this one means a lot. And it's at a place that means so much. Patrick Oberstadt helping his teammate out. Second place for him ahead of Dale Markowski. We heard from all three podium finishers here tonight. Austin Mongold rounded out the top four. Zach McBride, fuel saved, and got enough to finish fifth. Edward Marshall, Brandon Fetter placed 6th and 7th. Then it's James Kerr, Briley Wright, and Patrick Allen rounding out the top 10. James Wright, 11th place, having to stop for fuel on the last lap of this race. Jonathan Adams will finish in the 12th position. Toby Estes will finish 1 lap down. Elvis George ended up 5 laps down, and Lily Peltier Sharp failing to take the finish, having been involved in the caution on lap 6. Very small field, very impromptu broadcast tonight of the ARCS Ignition Series, but we're glad you were here with us tonight. It's a lot of fun. We're glad you're here with us. Again, non-racing related content coming tomorrow evening. Stay tuned to our Twitter and our Instagram for information on that as it comes. And then Sunday, the ARCS Cup Series regular season finale at 7 p.m. Eastern. Be here, ABN Esports, for a race at Daytona under the lights with everything on the line. Championship ambitions, bragging rights, all of it's to play for on Sunday. Monday we'll be here as well for qualifying for the HTL Daytona 300 and the duels to determine the starting lineup for the race on September 4th. And then on Tuesday, we'll be in Le Mans, 60-minute race for the International Sports Car Championship. That's everything coming up in advance here on ABN. On behalf of everyone here for ARCS, on behalf of everyone here for the Ignition Series, everyone here for Smil Racing Designs, ABN Studios, I'm Carmen Sienna. We appreciate you all showing love and support here on a very wild and frantic Friday night. It was fun being able to be here. I thank you. I thank the ARCS Ignition team for inviting us to do this broadcast. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun in the week ahead. But we'll see you tomorrow in Night City. Until then, so long, everybody.